Hey guys, so welcome back to the flipping of the BMW. We got quite a few things done since the last video. We got her up on the lift, took a really good inspection of the underneath of the car, and did quite a few other things that is good progress towards the selling of this car. And in the next few clips, you'll see what has been done. So enjoy. First of all, we did an oil change and changed the oil filter in this car, which you'll see in the next coming clips. We also got this new hose here because when we bought it, that was all duct taped up, so it was letting in more air than was actually needed, because since this hose is after the mass airflow sensor, the mass airflow sensor was telling it the amount of air that it needs to take in, and then it was taking in the extra amount that was coming in through the holes here under the duct tape. So it was either idling way too high or not idling at all and just dying and running super rich because of this. So now this should fix those problems, and it should be running a lot more smoothly now. That being said, this is the hose that goes from the idle control valve to the air boot that we had replaced, and it's messed up. It's all cracked and just busted. So we ordered a new one of these, and then after we put the new one of these on, it should be running a lot more smoothly. We also put new brake pads on, which you'll see in the clips in the future, and we are getting these front rotors machined on a lathe, and the back ones are super stubborn to come off, so we're not going to take them off. They're not as bad, so that should be all good. We also discovered this hole in the frame here. It's technically not the frame because this car has a unibody, so it's more of the subframe, but we are still unsure what we were going to do here. You'll see some clips a little bit more into the video where we were going to weld it, so we started grinding this down, but we're not sure if we're going to weld it anymore. We might pass that along to the next owner and kind of see what they want to do with it, because we're not sure if we want to tackle it. We also need to change this control arm here, because the previous owner told us that this bushing here was bad, so it would shake once you got up to a certain speed. So we're going to just completely change this whole control arm. It's fairly cheap to change, and we also got this new bushing for here, so it should be solid once we're done with it. So we caught some of the oil coming out of the pan there, and to check if there's anything in it. Looking pretty good.
Nice.
Good stuff.
No filings. Looks good.
Taking the oil filter out. You get these weird wonky.
Not your conventional oil filter in here. It's
These weird wonky ones.
yeah, you gotta take it out from up top. She in there? Let me take a look in there. There she is.
All right, so we got the hole cleaned all out. We got the new filter, so we can prime that guy up a little bit. Stick him in there. All right, so we put the O-ring straight on the cap here, and then we're gonna dump a little bit more oil in there, prime it up nice. Get that filter going, so we're not running without any oil, because that is no go. But so she's full up now. So yeah, this guy should just pop right.
So we took these front wheels off. Still can't get the back ones off. They're pretty stuck on there.
Seized.
But the pads and the rotors aren't looking too hot. So definitely gonna need new pads. Definitely gonna need to machine these rotors down and get them looking nice again. So yeah, and we got all the oil in and the new filter in, so that's done. Yeah, we'll try and get those back wheels off and look at the back ones and update you on them. Got this one off. This one's still being stubborn, so we're just gonna let that one soak overnight and then resume in the morning. Good stuff.
Right now we're taking the brakes off to put the new pads in. We already did, but we're just gonna show you how. So first off, you gotta pry out these with something like flathead or whatever. Get this clip off. There's a couple bolts you need to get at from the back here. There's one right here and one right up here. Size 16 millimeters, so you're gonna crack those loose. You have to get up here on this one. Just crack it loose with the breaker bar.
It's fine.
Once you get those bolts off, you're gonna wanna come back here again. Allen key. Just find the right size.
This is a really small transmission, I realize.
Loosen these bolts up. They're gonna be really deep in the rubber. I already got them kind of loose.
Deep in the rubber.
Why wouldn't you?
There we go. Finally got this other bolt out now. So, nice and close. Come off. Come right off. This is your caliper here. Comes right off the rotor. I'll move you guys around. You got the caliper here. All right, to take these rotors off, you gotta take this Allen key. Get this little bolt out here. Then all you got next is your caliper, which is falling apart because you took the bolts already. I know. So there's that right there.
You know who Claudia is?
Sponsor me, Craftsman.
Okay, so we gotta reinstall these brake pads now. So first we gotta compress this piston here that's on this brake shoe, and so that we can get all the fluid back into the reservoir that's on the lines, and so that the new pads can fit in there nicely. So we got this piston compressor. Put it in here like this. You just twist it until it doesn't twist anymore. Make sure that this doesn't get too pressurized, because you don't want to pop the rubber there. And that's it. Now it's ready for new pads. Okay, so I got this new pads here, and I put this this orange shit on here, which is like a brake lubricant, so you don't get squeaky brakes. Yes. I can't get these fucking pads. So I finally got this pad clipped in here. It's kind of bugger to get in there. They're a little bit bigger than the old pads, so they didn't quite fit in there as good. You just kind of had to bend the clips that went into the piston and fit right in there. Okay, so now I had the pad in there, but I got to take it back out because we got new sleeves for these, so we got to take these out, put those in, and then yeah, we can put those pads in, and then we can put this caliper thing back on, and then put these back on there, and we'll be good back in business. Okay, so we machined these rotors on the lathe. So they're basically brand new and ready to go again. Still well within spec. And so now we got all the the caliper and the caliper mount back on both fronts here. So these front brakes are done and ready to go. In the back, these rotors were so stubborn to get off, so we just decided to leave them on, especially since they weren't as bad as the front. And so now I'm just using some memory cloth and sanding this down just to make it a little bit more smooth, and then those will be good to go. And then we can put these caliper and caliper mounts back on with the two bolts in the back. Then the brakes will be essentially done. So I sanded down these rotors here and got this caliper back on. Made sure to sand them down so that there's no more grooves and no more rough patches, and these brakes will be just fine again. So brakes are all done on this now, so it's time to put the wheels back on. And these lug bolts, they were rusted right out and looked pretty terrible, so took them to the wire wheel and cleaned up really nicely, and time to put the wheels back on.